Okay, all right, boom, we are live. Okay, hey everybody, this is Aaron from Speaking 26, where I show pharmacists how to get their 26 on TOEFL Speaking by showing how I got 30 on TOEFL Speaking. And today we are attacking question number 2, the university announcement. But before we get into that, I'd like to introduce and invite Paulina to introduce herself, and then I have a question for you, Paulina.
Of course. So my name is Paulina. I'm from Ukraine. And right now I'm studying for the TOEFL exam that I need for my pharmacy license here in the United States.
Okay. And so we've been talking about this before we started the live stream here. You recently took the TOEFL test, and I want to ask you, how do you feel about the 4 questions, the 4 speaking questions? Mm-hmm. Does one of the questions stick out as being more challenging during the test versus when we study at home?
So I would normally used to think that question number 3 is the hardest for me because it includes reading, it includes listening section, and usually it's not just a conversation, it's something not very easy, something you don't usually understand right away, something that takes some time to think, to process in your mind, and then there is such a limited amount of time and you have to talk about it. You should integrate the listening and the reading section, and all that will make it really complicated for me. But on the exam, I feel like the hardest question for me was question number 1, because that's the first one, and you have to start quick. You have to be, it's like a bullet. It has, like, I feel like it's foundation, and depending on how you start, that's how the rest of the speaking tasks will go. And also because it's independent, and then there are no instructions. You have to come up by yourself with your own ideas from your mind. And
yes,
things I feel like were a little challenging for me because you don't realize how it's already started. And
yes,
you have to speak, and you have to be fast, and you have to be straight to the point.
Yes. Okay, so let me see here. What I heard is that question number 3 is the most integrated, it's the most complicated question. But during the test, question number 1, for 2 reasons I heard you say, because how we do on question number 1, that momentum is going to carry into questions number 2, 3, and 4. And then also, since it's the personal choice question, that's the question, the independent question, that's the question that comes from us, from our opinions and experiences. So right off the bat, boom, we have to speak from within. And that question is so important because it carries into the other questions. Okay, so we've been talking and you've been thinking independently. I want to ask you, what's one way you're going to remember to do better on question number 1 the next time you're in the testing center for your pharmacy license?
So you've been giving a really valuable suggestion that unfortunately I did not remember using on my last exam, but a really good point, a really good idea to start, maybe quietly start speaking during your preparation time, because it will be really
I didn't say quietly, but at a minimum, quietly.
Well, I say quietly because I wanted to be respectful to other people.
Yes. At a minimum, we can be.
It can be loud.
Yeah, for sure. So what I suggest is, question number one, you have 15 seconds to prepare. Just jump into it the same way you're going to when the test tells us we have 45 seconds to speak. Use that 15 seconds to get a 15-second practice run. But if I understand, if you or somebody else watching is uncomfortable doing that with other people in the room, okay, at a minimum, start speaking to yourself. It's called, speaking under your breath. So question, in my opinion, I definitely prefer at a minimum, start speaking to yourself quietly. Yeah. Okay, so that's a good way to get us warmed up before that ever so important question number one.
And also, I think it's good idea to make some notes so you have some kind of things written down what you are going to talk about.
Yes, for sure. Definitely write down the notes like we've talked about before. You try to have 2 points.
Or two, yeah, or like main ideas. I remember I wrote like 2 words, a word from one reason, a word for another reason, but it helped me to like with organization of my response.
Yes. So I'm suggesting to both use the 15 seconds to start speaking and of course to be writing notes. The two are connected. So like if I jump into so this, you have 15 seconds to prepare. Well, this is how I'm actually going to say it. Then by doing that, I see where I get stuck and that will let me write down a note. So for question number one, during the 15 seconds to prepare, I suggest doing both speaking and jotting down an outline of things you can say. Okay, good. Okay, so do we want to say anything else about question number one and how that's the question that you are now focused on doing very well on for your next test in about 10 days?
Yeah, let's start with the questions
we are ready for question number 2 today. Okay, so Polina, I'm going to give you, let's start at 30 seconds to prepare. Okay, so you have 30 seconds to prepare. You may begin preparing now. Time. Okay, you now have 60 seconds to give your answer. You may begin speaking now.
According to the plan, the university is going to send daily emails to students because that's something that will provide that with more up-to-date information compared to their newspaper, and the university believes that this change will benefit students. The woman thinks it is a great idea. First, she says that the newspaper comes every Monday, and usually by Thursday, if there is an event, she will already forget about it. With the email, you get a daily reminder, and especially if there's last-minute cancellation, you will know about it and won't show up when the event is canceled. What's more, she says that everyone checks their email at least once a day, and if the university includes a cafeteria menu, then the students will check it for sure. So that's why she thinks it is a really good idea.
Time. All right. Almost, pretty much perfect timing, about 1 or half a second left there. Very nice with fitting everything into 60 seconds. Also very nice speaking rate from the beginning. I heard your speaking rate was high and sustained throughout the entire 60-second answer. Very good, Polina.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, good. So you stated her reasons, you explained all of her reasons. The only thing that sticks out to me would be like one sentence. This is, I call these the green sentences. So it's just something like, Okay, so let me ask you. I don't want to say it. I want to see if you can come up with
Mhm,
it here. So I mean, overall, this was very, very strong. I'm just being picky here, thinking of,
mhm.
okay, can I offer anything on this already good answer? Just between you and I, so the woman gives her reasons, and I heard you say you said them very well, the same way that I'm going to. But how would you describe, like in your own words, the woman feels that the university's plan is going to be a what? Why is it better in your own words?
Because it is more effective way of
There we go.
communicating with students.
Yes, you said effective, and I was thinking efficient. Same thing. For the purposes of this, same thing. So, like, I would like to hear one sentence where, and it can be anywhere, where you say that.
Um,
So like in your answer,
mhm.
in the same good answer that you just gave, after you say some of those good things, after that, where would be a good part to add?
Well, I feel like at the beginning it will be good. I don't see why not. Why will I don't I think it won't be hold on, I'm confused. I think it will be a good idea to include it at the beginning if we say the woman actually agrees with the plan. She thinks that if the university is going to send students emails, then it will be a more effective way of communication. And then she can talk about the examples, how when she reads a newspaper every Monday, she will forget about all the events by Thursday. Or we can do it as a conclusion at the end after
Both.
she mentioned all those things.
Both. So I like how you said we can do it at the beginning. The great thing about that is that also means we can do it, like you also said, again at the conclusion or somewhere else in the middle. But the really good thing, and again, your answer overall was great. I'm just thinking of
Mhm,
one thing, like, what am I going to do different? How can
mhm,
I help improve this a little bit? If we say the word effective or efficient at the beginning, that's coming from you, Paulina. She never said that word, but she did say everything that describes that. So when you insert the word effective, you're showing the TOEFL speaking graders how well you understand the
mhm.
woman's idea, the woman's opinions. Her reasons all have to do with the the daily emails are more effective, more efficient. So if you say that at the beginning and then somewhere else, you're really showing that you understand the woman's opinions, that it's her reasons are all about being more effective.
Something like, therefore, it is much more effective way of communication with students.
Yeah, of course the woman agrees with this plan. She reads the newspaper 6 7 days ago and she forgets about it. And
Mhm.
then the sentence that you just said. So this is a much more effective way to get the list of campus
Oh, I know.
activities.
The woman agrees with the plan. As a matter of fact,
Yes.
she reads a newspaper every Monday, and by Thursday she forgets
Good,
about
good.
everything she read about.
Nice.
Therefore,
Tying in from our last class. Good. Yes.
um,
That's great.
I have a question. If you can tell me the difference about the word effective and efficient,
Okay.
are they synonyms or there are difference?
They're not identical. They're different enough. So efficient is going to be the difference. I don't think effective has to include time. Efficient means I did something with the required amount of work and time, but not, I didn't take longer and it wasn't harder for me than it needed to be. That's efficient. Effective, effective doesn't take into consideration the amount of time it takes.
Mhm,
As long as we get the job done, no matter how long it
mhm.
takes, that's effective. But efficient is I'm going to get the job done and I'm going to do it in as little of time as possible.
What about the quality in effect? If we say efficient, how is the quality? Is it still good, or it's the faster the better?
The quality still has to remain high and effective.
Oh,
Inefficient, excuse me. To answer your question, the quality still has to remain high.
what about then productive? We just
And then productive is more like effective. That's like,
well, productive, it
output.
doesn't, I don't think it matter. The quality is like the more we do, the more we
yeah,
produce things,
the more we make, or the more that we serve, the more that we, yes.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So let's tie that. Let's put a bow on that for this question. If you said effective and I said efficient, let me check. So effective. Yeah, both work fine with this when we're talking about getting daily emails. I said efficient because I think about the university newspaper. She's going to have to keep
get them faster, and they are more effective compared to their newspaper.
Okay, we can definitely say that. Yes. So that was a good question about the difference between those two words, and then zooming back out, going to the more, like, you're doing well on the bigger, more important things is what I really like. When I asked you the question of, hey, Polina, how would you describe in your own words? Because we want to add one sentence that's from your own thoughts, your own words. I like how you came up with effective without me suggesting it. That shows me that you understand why she holds those opinions. So I would like it if you say just one quick sentence. You can say it anywhere. And if you can do it 2 times, even better. A sentence about effective.
Something related to the task, or just this?
Oh, in your answer. So we talked about this earlier. I don't know if you want to give a full answer now. I think that's a good idea. If you could give your
I will give the whole answer one more time.
Okay, and at least once insert a sentence that's your own words about how it's more effective, and that's why she likes the university's plan. Okay, so let's do another timer here. Okay, I think you're ready. So let's just do 20 seconds to prepare. Okay. 20 seconds. You may begin preparing now. Time. Okay, you now have 60 seconds to give your answer. You may begin speaking now.
According to the plan, the university is going to start sending daily emails to their students, because it will provide them much more updated information compared to their newspapers, and it will be a very beneficial for them. Hold on, I confused. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Can I do one more time?
Yeah, let's reset that.
Yeah.
Sure. This is exactly why we do it, to make the suggestions that will improve our score, to make it smoother. This is exactly why we do it. Okay, so I'll reset the 60 seconds. You have 60 seconds to speak. You may begin speaking now.
According to the plan, the university is going to start sending daily emails to students, because it will be more up-to-date information compared to their newspapers that will benefit students a lot. The woman actually thinks it is a great idea. First, she says that she usually reads newspaper on Monday, and by Thursday, she will usually forget about all the events. What's more, she says that it will be really nice to get a reminder on the day of the event, or if there is a cancellation, she could get an email about it, so she doesn't have to waste her time showing up to that event. Therefore, it will be a really good, effective way of communication. Nice. What's more, every student check his email at least once a day, and if the university includes cafeteria menu, then they will check it for sure.
Okay, very good. I like that sentence that you added there.
But did I run out of time?
You did run out of time. Yes, we barely got in the mention of the emails. So that is something that was a trade-off. By fitting in that sentence, we did miss some of the information from the emails, but that's okay. It's important that sentence.
It's because I couldn't see the timer. If I was looking at the timer, I would fit it all in.
You're right. Yeah. Next time, I'll remind you to also put a 60-second timer where you can see the timer.
It's so important on the TOEFL, constantly keep an eye on the time, because I remember I was doing a listening section and I looked at the timer and I was like, oh, I have so much time. So I like relaxed and took my time reading every question. And then like sometime later, I looked at the timer again. I was almost done. I had 3 questions left, but there was only 6 seconds left. I better hurry up. So I think I wasn't able to finish the last question. I still passed this listening section, but it was a good reminder for me. Always keep an eye on a clock, on the timer, because even though you may feel like there's a lot of time and you can relax, the time will run out and you won't even realize.
Yeah, very good. Keep an eye on the timer for all the sections. What do you like to do, Polina? So question number 2 is what we're doing today. It's a 60-second answer. What do you suggest? Like, for example, I like to look down about 2 times per 60-second answer. What do you like to do?
You like, what was that? You like?
So like, you have 60 seconds to speak. You may begin speaking now. Boom. I start talking. The first time I look down it's usually after about 15 or 20 seconds. Okay. Then I go back to my notes and focusing on my answer. And then I'll look again. And there's usually about 15 or 10 seconds left. So
yeah, I usually look up was this question, I look up the time one to see if I should be done with the first reason, or I should still continue to talk about the first reason, or I should move on to the second reason and close to the end, if I should speed up or I should say something. So for those 2 ideas, the woman thinks it will be really great to have that's if I have
good
time left.
Oh, yes. If we see that we have time left, what do we say? There's still 5 or 7 seconds left, and that's when we jump into the summary to wrap it up and to fill in those 5 or 7 seconds.
But it's usually it rarely happens. Usually it's when I'm hurrying up to finish. But there were times when.
Yeah, and that's better. That means our speaking rate, and we're fitting in so many details. Good. Okay. So again, I'm really glad to see how since we started to focus on your speaking rate, every single answer you have given has been good. It's not like some days your speaking rate, oh, I have to remind you, you're going up and down. No, every single answer has been consistently better.
I feel like that is a very important part on the TOEFL, which I don't know how I feel about it, if I feel good or bad about it, because I feel like there are a lot of people who speak not as fast, but they are still a good speaker, and it's not necessarily bad when you speak slow. But
Agreed.
Unfortunately, I feel like, well, when I tried comparing my practice test, the one that I got my scores, I feel like not much have changed. I just started speaking faster, and then it improved my score.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I want to say two things. Like, I agree with you that in general, day-to-day life, it's not necessarily better, but for this test, we know it is, and we're not going to be able to change the scoring metrics of the test. So let's just adapt to speaking faster, like you've already done. And the second thing I want to say, if this offers some solace to you, if this offers some sense of ease or sense of peace, it's that while you're noticing yourself speaking faster and you feel that's all you're doing, but one thing that I've noticed is that so let's say at the 30-second mark, you've been speaking faster. So you still have another 30 seconds left. One thing that I'm hearing that maybe you don't necessarily detect, but I do, is that you are including more details, more relevant reasons, relevant examples in your answers, because you're saying so much within the first 30 seconds as, hey, I still have another 30 seconds left. I'm hearing stronger overall answers from you because your speaking rate is higher.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Good. So good job to you for doing that. It's overall making your answers stronger. Okay, all right. So do you have any other comments or questions about the two speaking answers that you just gave?
No. Would you like to give your answer?
Yeah, and before I do that, so a takeaway for you from this class is, in your second speaking answer, you did a great job of fitting in that sentence that came from you, that was an accurate explanation, more than a summary, explain the woman's opinion about the university's plan. Polina said she likes this because it's a more effective way to get the university's information. So in your second speaking answer, Polina, you said that, and it came at the cost of your 60 seconds, the last sentence. Yeah. So we'll improve on this next time. We're going to fit in that good one sentence that's an explanation from Polina's own words, and still have time within the 60 seconds to talk about the second point. Students already read their emails daily. Okay, so you and I will remember that for the next time. Okay, if you will give me 20 seconds to prepare.
20 seconds to prepare. Okay. Begin preparing now.
Good. Okay. So like we suggested earlier at the beginning of this video, use your preparation time to give a first answer. Okay. So daily emails, instead of once a week, they're going to get daily emails. The woman strongly agrees with this plan because once a week is a problem. It's not enough. It's not the best way to stay up to date. Daily emails are reminders. They're more accurate. Everybody checks their email. So it's going to be a seamless way for people to get the information more efficiently. This is 2021, not 1921. What are we doing?
Time.
Okay.
Okay, and begin speaking after the beep. Beep.
Let me set my timer. Boom. The woman strongly agrees with the university's plan. She likes the idea of the students receiving an email every single day with the list of campus-related activities. She likes this idea because she's currently a student that gets the information from the once-a-week newspaper, but she knows this is not a convenient way for students to stay up to date on the best information related to the campus. She says it's a problem. For example, she gives the example of the university newspaper listing an activity, but if that activity is canceled or rescheduled, there's no way for her to know about it. Instead, if the university is sending daily emails, the woman will have a more accurate sense of what's going on campus. And this is why she likes the university's plan. Furthermore, she says that students already check their emails at least once a day. Therefore, it will be a seamless transition for the students to start receiving the information more efficiently.
You missed cafeteria menu.
On purpose. That was not important.
That's
Really? I remember I listened to that part. That was a part that they stuffed in the question at the end, but that's not important. The main, I chose to not talk about that. The more important, that was just something that they said at the end, like Polina, remember the trap?
Yeah.
What is it? The architecture that if people move to the side of the room that has the window, that was the trapping information in this question that was not as important as the other stuff. Okay, so the two things that I did make sure to talk about, why the woman agrees. Number one, a more efficient way to stay up to date on the information on the campus activities. And number two, emails. Do you think the students will really read their emails? Of course, everybody already checks them at least once a day. Those were the two things that I made sure to focus on, and I disregarded the cafeteria. That was like 90% of the reading and the students' conversations was about those two things. And then at the end, just like cafeteria meant, like that was like, okay, you're trying to trap me. This is excess information. I'm going to focus on 90% of the information.
I got into that trap. I decided that cafeteria menu is an important thing to talk about.
Yes. Sometimes they get you with that trap. I'm going to make a note of that here to see how you do it, because I noticed you made an improvement last week with that, but then I think today I got you. Or did you talk about? Yeah, you did say that once in your answer. You said like one sentence about that. It's okay. Yeah, it's not like
every student check their email, check his email at least once a day, and especially they're going to check it if there is going to be a cafeteria menu included.
Yeah,
you said that much. It doesn't take too much time. It's only a few seconds.
Right. It's only a few seconds. Yeah. Yes. So it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. And I'll make note here to pay attention. That's fine.
Don't get into those traps.
Don't fall into those traps of the extra information that we're given. It's our responsibility to decide what's important to talk about in our limited 60 seconds and what we can throw away. Okay, very good. Was there anything from my answer, from my language use or delivery, was there anything from my answer that can help your answers to questions number 2 in the future?
Yeah, just remember, don't get in those traps.
Okay.
With that excessive information that is not necessary that is not relevant to the question.
Yeah, and the way that I avoided that trap was, I remember when I listened to the question, and as soon as I heard that, I was just like, what? Like they're talking about the organization of the list of activities, everything, the reading, and then
that's what I thought about, but then I thought, well, it's a detail that if I mention, creators will think, oh, she's paying attention to details. It means that
I've heard this before.
But she got the question. She pays attention to every small thing.
Okay.
So like it only takes a couple seconds to mention that, so I should include it in my answer.
What do you still think that, or what do you think now?
I think you can include it if you have some time left at the end. You can continue speaking, but when we have a choice, we should not choose to talk about that.
Yeah, so let's think. So your second answer, you included the green sentence. I call that the green sentence, the important sentence. That's how we highlight it with green. So you included that, and then you were cut off on time before you could talk about how everybody checks their emails at least once daily anyways. So I'm going to say, like, if when you're getting the information, if you notice that something's like, what? Like that's a little different than what the rest of the topic is about, like give yourself permission to disregard it, to put that aside. Because remember, the questions don't tell us to describe or summarize every detail. They say to explain something. They say to explain the woman's opinion about the university's plan. And talking about the cafeteria menus, it's a little off topic. It doesn't help me explain her opinion. So this is just something that I'll remember in the future. Give yourself permission. Remember that there are, as you described them, traps. And as I described them, extra information that we don't need. The question is challenging our fluency to see what's the important stuff and what's the stuff that you're stuffing into the question unnecessarily. Okay, very good. Unless there are any more comments or questions about this, I'm going to end this. Okay, I'm going to end this live stream. All right, if you guys want more information, you can check the links in the description of the video, and I'll see you soon.
Bye.